The National Multiple Sclerosis Society describes MS as an unpredictable, often disabling disease of the central nervous system that disrupts the flow of information between the body and the brain. Since a young age, Rickey Cooper has struggled with MS, but anyone who knows him will tell you it doesn't hold him back.
You're a role model. Believe that.
Rickey was a 2-year varsity athlete, was in major part of each spring theater production since his freshman year, as well as being in the highest level of choir.
Death is sufficient. One death must not be added to another, and we don't owe yours.
I think the impact of somebody like Rickey is subtle. I mean, he's a very talented actor as a senior, and he brings great performances out of other people because he's really present, he's really alive on stage. He's always been a really confident person, and theater, like anything else in high school, you got a lot of 15 and 16-year-olds who aren't confident, aren't comfortable, and somebody confident like Rickey can help other people feel more comfortable. This is a guy who's gone through a lot of adversity and who almost every day has to deal with some degree of adversity, and he doesn't wear it on his shoulder and he doesn't complain about it, and he just gets up and does his job. And if you know Rickey and you know the circumstances that he works under, that showing up every day doing your job, being a nice person to people, can be really inspirational. And I think he does that in a really subtle, really powerful way.
As a linebacker and defensive lineman, Rickey was an important part of the football team, keeping the team spirit positive on and off the field. He's also the only player on the team to have a major part in a spring theater production in each of the last 3 years. Rickey is in the highest level of choir, as well as being part of the theater production ensemble.
He has been an absolutely tremendous asset to our program, just by the example he leads in how to work hard and how to commit yourself and how to be there for your teammates. It's the commitment that you could see on his face every game night. Being there, yelling and hollering for his teammates, being ready and a moment's notice to get on the field and do anything he could. If there was one moment that kind of epitomizes that, anytime, and I mean anytime, we had somebody missing on special teams, Rickey was always the guy. I'll go. What do you want me to do? And he was already on the field before we could tell him what to do. He was so ready to help his team, so ready to do anything he could to help the Golden Eagles be as successful as they could, because he loved the team. And for me, that little picture in my mind is such a great representation of who he was and of his character and all that he meant to our program and will continue to mean moving forward. Because obviously he's made an impact on some of the younger guys, and those guys are going to make an impact on guys coming behind them. So his legacy is going to carry on for a long time on what it means to be a Mountain Vista football player.
But that's the essence of Rickey Cooper. Hey, you got to go on stage. Nobody's going to know who you are. You're not going to have any lines, but you got to wear tights. Okay. Hey, I need you to throw this girl over your shoulder. Okay. Your character doesn't know what's happening. Can you just lose your mind on stage? Okay. He very rarely says no to stuff. He wants to be a part of it. And those stories are sort of emblematic of who he is.
Kind of something I deal with every day. Not so much now that football season is over, but is that I can wake up any day and I just might not be able to walk.
Yeah.
And that's something that's kind of scary, because you never know. Like, I never knew, and that's why I always tried to do my best and be the best I could when I was on the field, because I never knew if the next day I just wasn't going to be able to play. I wasn't going to be able to walk or what was going to happen. It's so unpredictable with what I got. So,
my first attack, I was 6 years old. We didn't really know it was MS. We were still kind of like, whatever. I ended up getting better. I had to relearn how to read, how to see, and walk normal and stuff because my balance was all jacked up. But we figured it out. Things were awesome. Things were great. I started playing football, started acting, started doing all this fun stuff, being a normal kid. And then 2013 came, 8th grade, and about 3 or 4 weeks into it, I'm at football practice, and I'm like, I can't feel my feet. It's kind of weird. Things just kept getting worse. Eventually, I lost feeling all the way up to here and could barely move anything, and they were like, okay, something more is happening, and we can't figure it out. So I ended up staying in Children's Hospital for almost all of 8th grade, a little bit of freshman year, and it was really hard. I ended up, when they went in, they called it transverse myelitis is what they originally called it. They're like, there's no reason you shouldn't be paralyzed. Like, the fact that you came in today is a miracle because you should be paralyzed. We don't know why you're walking. And for whatever reason, I never was fully paralyzed. I lost a lot of leg strength and was in a wheelchair and eventually moved up to a walker and stuff. But I went to the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, and they were like, it's very clear he has MS. Mm-hmm. So with MS, what it is my immune system, for whatever reason, if I get sick or something like that, it doesn't attack the illness, the virus, the bacteria, it attacks me. And so it attacks that myelin and it destroys that myelin. So if something from my brain, I want to move my hand, I want to walk, I want to say something, move my eyes, it misfires. That lubrication isn't there, so it shoots off and jeers in some random direction and causes these things called lesions that end up eating at my brain and spine, and they're just like, it's kind of like a cancer. It's just a bunch of cells, and they just keep growing and eating away at your brain and your spinal tissue. And they ended up putting me on a cocktail of drugs. There was a point where I was taking, I want to say, 30 prescription medications a day, and those were just like nerve killers and oxycodone and stuff like that. So the fact that I was even like conscious or available to pass 8th grade is pretty crazy.
As Rickey finishes his senior year of high school, he looks to the future. He will continue to fight this horrible disease and wants to inspire those who come after him, and nothing is going to stop him from being positive, funny, and genuine person that he is.
It's been quite the unique experience. I'm kind of relieved that I made it and that football's over, but I can't really believe that we did it, because 4 years ago I couldn't walk, and I didn't think I was ever going to leave the hospital.